What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the titles going down. Make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So let me tell y'all something with this. You literally have here, and this just goes to show you on why I'm so glad that when people literally say of being real about, Kamala and seeing her old campaign and just seeing how things were when she would speak. And, you have the word salad and you have the lies and you have this going on and that going on. And then you have not only that, but people saying truly that we really dodged the bullet. I'm going to let y'all listen here. This is Kamala on Iran, and as well, Jessica had a lot to say. Check it out.
You look at this war in Iran, which the American people do not want, which was not authorized by conference, but even if it was, it should not have been initiated. He talked about obliterating, and then he said, oh, he did. It's all just... You made me do that. I promised I'm not going to curse in public anymore. I'm not going to dismiss him as being...
It's all an act when it comes down. This right here, it makes me mad. It's one of those things. Y'all know how... a person would go somewhere, obviously around a family member, go around and act like they usually don't. That's what Kamala gives off. No matter how you are, if you want to act this way, act that way. I'm not about to say, any type of names or nothing like that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And it truly just gets on my nerves because you have somebody that truly just plays this fake card. They always talking about President Trump does this, does that. Man, let me tell y'all something. One thing that I feel like a lot of people can't say, and I haven't really seen a lot of people say, is that Trump, he plays, fake, and he acts this way when he's around this person, or he acts this way, or he changes an accent, or he does. That's one thing they definitely cannot say.
Idiot. He's dangerous.
Jessica, in an October 2024 60 Minutes interview, Kamala Harris was asked who the greatest adversary to the world was, and she said Iran. And now it's just BS.
No, the way Donald Trump is going about taking away Iran's nuclear capacity, which we haven't even seen that come to fruition, is what she's saying is BS. Not that Iran isn't a real threat. Everyone knows Iran is a real threat. They have been for 47 years. And we know that Netanyahu pitched the same war to Joe Biden and to Barack Obama, and he only got Donald Trump to bite. So, that's what she's saying here. The idea that we're in the midst of a ceasefire because it's just a love tap isn't backed up by reality. Iran says we're not in a ceasefire, and it does take two to tango with a ceasefire, right? You need both people to be committed to the fact that you're trying to find a way to peace and with these talks. And now apparently we may get a 30-day pause so that we can hopefully get a bigger deal. I hope that that's the case. But what we have seen at each juncture of this, where we hear from our administration, Iran, they're on the back foot, all this economic sanctions, they're being totally crushed, they're going to fall tomorrow. No, the next day, the next day, the next day. Now there's this new CIA report that Iran could survive a naval blockade for 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 month timeline on this. They have dug in. Their foreign minister was in China this week, showing the support that they're getting and that they're uniformly on the same page with them. We know that China can prop them up. They can certainly give them the money that they need to keep surviving here. And so I don't really know where all of this is going. I want to remain glass half full. I hope that we get a compromise, a sparkly deal. I'm sure and I have some sparkles on my jacket today. But the imminent collapse of Iran that we were promised has not come to fruition.
Jesse, when Joe Biden was asked what the message to Iran was, he said don't. Kamala was asked, she said don't. When Trump was asked the same question, he said, I would bomb the bleep out of them. I think I'd take that approach.
Yeah, Jessica says China.
And I really feel like that right there obviously goes to show you two different people. I guess three, since you want to put Kamala in there. But it literally just goes to show you that a person really don't play about when it comes to America. I guess you can say that. You having so many people that's playing around and letting individuals do. I'm not saying that you gotta have that to where it's like, oh yeah, we need to act on this, we need to do this, we need to do that. I feel like it's really truly things, and I feel like a lot of people don't pay attention to that. It's a lot of things that need to be set in place for other things to happen. And that's one thing that I do, and one thing that I always say is that I feel like I trust that a lot, just seeing how of being patient. If y'all look back, I want people to just look back so people realize what's truly going on here. Take now and back then, obviously, with the Biden administration, and just see how things have. And I know people going, oh, well, you got gas up, you got this, you got that. Somebody said something about the economy, and somebody said something. I feel like so many people don't pay attention because they put out so much BS about President Trump. These are things that truly have been ongoing, especially with the Biden administration, that President Trump has to clean up. And it's one of those things of things are definitely going to be worse before they get better. I feel like it's really just cleaning up the mess, obviously, that has been made. But people look at so much of, okay, things are bad now. Not only are things bad, but you have the mainstream media and others that are constantly putting out, especially when you get on social media. And people are putting out so much BS about, oh, the Trump is doing this, Trump administration is doing this, they're doing this person, this happened, this. And they see a whole bunch of lies that's going, especially with things already going. I'm telling y'all, bro. People gotta truly realize what's going on and lock in, because it ain't it.
He's going to give them money. How, Jessica? There's a blockade. They can't get anything in or out. It is a fragile ceasefire, but we're going to defend ourselves. If you have mosquito fleet coming at destroyers, you're going to light them up with hellfires from the Apaches. You're going to hit them with the 50 cal machine guns. And then they tried to lob some drones and short-range missiles at us, and we lit up the whole coastline with airstrikes. Goodbye. We've also knocked out some blockade runners because they can't store oil. We hit them up with the F-18 Super Hornets, and they turned right around. They're running out of storage, and that's why the New York Times is reporting they're leaking oil all over the strait. It's an environmental catastrophe. Where's Al Gore? Isn't it funny? You don't hear any Democrats complaining about Iran. You listen to Jessica. She doesn't say anything about Iran. Just all it talks about is Donald Trump's the bad guy here. They're slaughtering women. They're polluting the strait. They have blocked the strait. Which have caused energy prices to rise. And they're like lobbing missiles at civilian targets. And they're always like, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Last week it was, you know what, this war cost too much. They said it was $25 billion. Well, guess what? We just sold $25 billion of weapons to our allies. So now it's a scratch, right? Billion. So it's just, nope. Read the news, Jessica. 25 bill. We just upped it. That doesn't include the repairs that we have to make to all of the equipment that they've destroyed. Okay. So now you also.
This right here is the problem that I'm talking about. This is the problem that I'm talking about. What I find interesting about this whole thing is that you have the left that's constantly sitting here complaining about this, that, and the other. Mind you, we ain't even gonna throw in all the fraud that's going on. That's another conversation. But seeing how you're having all this going on and you're helping, we talking about allies. Where you helping America, keeping America safe. You're doing all these things, and they still got something to say. I truly find it disturbing, because that just goes to show you having all these excuses. That means you truly don't care about Americans. I mean, just say that.
You also said,
I don't really.
Yeah, you also said that we were running out of missiles. So how are we running out of missiles?
Ask JD Vance.
How are we running out of missiles if we're selling all the missiles to our friends in the Middle East? Then there was this. Another leak from the CIA, anonymous sources during the Trump administration. Oh, Iran has 75% of their missiles still. Really? We're still going to buy anonymous leaks from the CIA deep state to hurt Trump? Oh, they have 4 to 6 months left. Really? Then why are they leaking all their oil into the strait? Listen, we're supposed to get some sort of counter proposal tonight. Trump's driving a pretty hard bargain. He's saying, give us all the enriched uranium, freeze for decades. You can't do anything underground, shut down every single nuke site. It's a pretty hard bargain. So it's going to take a little while. I don't know what they're going to come back with. No one knows. But if they don't, you still have bridge and power plant day. You could still take Carr. You could still lop off a few layers of the leadership. I'm willing to play this out. I think we have the upper hand if you look at the economy.
Emily, you made the great point today that we follow moment by moment what happens on our TV screen, but we do not know what's happening behind the cameras in the diplomacy.
Indeed. And I think the reason that critics are calling this, a violation of the ceasefire and whatnot is because they're not used to the fact that he's actually using de-escalating rhetoric, and it's combined with deterrence. Usually, he's the one that's sort of escalating in his rhetoric. He is threading the needle of strength and restraint right now. And we know that he has significant deterrence. That's the U.S. military, and that's been how we've been acting this entire time. But right now, he's trying to control the political temperature. And that's a good thing. So I'm not quite sure why those on the left are decrying this and sort of looking at his dismissing of it. Not that it's insignificant militarily, but that he's saying, look, guys, I'm trying to signal to Iran that they're acting out and they will absolutely meet the heat if they continue doing this. I'm showing them what's going to happen. But it's a preview. It's not some type of explosion. And I think he wants Iran to know that America can hit back instantly and decisively while also signaling to voters and markets that this isn't an endless war and that we're not going to be there for months. So this is what you do when you correct a puppy. This is what you do when you course correct a ship. And we're seeing it in real time in these up to the moment updates.
I ain't gonna lie, that's what you do when you correct the puppy. I ain't gonna lie, that's
for
facts.
some reason seem to be catastrophic to those on the left every 30 seconds. But to us, it's, as you said earlier, it's how we make the sausage.
Yep, Greg.
Well, I'm going to be honest, my personal opinion, I feel like this story's getting old. I mean, it reminds me of, this Iran story reminds me when you have relatives come stay and first week's great, second week, then I just want to get back to my den. I want the place to myself. Mm-hmm. You don't want a bored Greg Gutfeld because then I'm up to no good. The things I do when I
draw.
Oh my God, it's horrible. But that's my personal opinion. But I trust the guys in charge. If they need a few more weeks to drain Iran's economy, I'm going to give it to them because they've been pretty good on everything else. They're not lying to me. I mean, it's quite a change from the old administration. I mean, why are we listening to Kamala Harris? Remember, she told us she was the border czar. What did she do? And also, I don't know what the Democrats really want. What do they want? Like, if they could tell Donald Trump, get out of Iran now, is that what you want him to do? You don't know. You don't know what you want. Trump's just doing what the Dems promised they would do, but never would, which was get rid of the Iranian threat. So it's always deeds versus words. The Dems fill the air with these words, but then there's no action. Meanwhile, the border is closed, crime is dropped, Maduro's locked up, drug kingpins and boats are dead. Iran's mulch. What drives Dems crazy is Trump did these things and made it look easy. And that kind of makes them look really, really stupid because they were like, we can't do this. How could he do that? It's just called having balls and knowing how to do things. And when you work in real jobs, you do know how to do things. That's the problem with Democrats, Jessica. They don't know how to do anything, and it makes me sick to my stomach. And right now, I'm essentially just talking.
I gathered that.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, it went to Fox News Channel. So I'm gonna say this. I look at the simple fact that you literally have the left that's constantly complaining about stuff. It's really a lot of it is just common sense, and that's where it goes when they say things like, let's just say when it comes to Iran, that you have people, oh, I don't understand why you're doing this, and then they bring up children, and then they bring up women. They say, oh, he's doing this, but they take things that obviously needed to be situated and done a long time ago, and then they make him out to look like the bad guy when truly everything that he's doing is for America and trying to do better and trying to clean up what truly the last administration had messed up completely. But they push out so much of this negativity when it comes down to Trump administration that it becomes, and a lot of people obviously don't think. There's a lot of people that don't pay attention. in politics at all. But like I've said before, they'll go there, see something on social media, whether if it's on somebody's story, whether if it's on TikTok, whether it's on Facebook, they'll see something like that. And then what? They run with it. And it truly just gets on my nerves because it's so many people that truly, truly, truly don't pay attention nor understand what's going on, but always have something to say. I'm telling y'all. And it makes me so mad, you know. And that's why a lot of times I don't even waste my breath talking to individuals like that because again, they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing that's going on. A lot of people follow what their family members say, follow what their friends say, and it truly just goes to show you that they don't care. You have obviously the left that truly doesn't care because if they actually cared, they wouldn't be saying if they actually cared about Americans. I'm gonna say this: they would actually do something within their party. And showing they're not doing nothing by having Trump's name in their mouth 24/7. That's it and that's all. Stay tuned for the next video dropping tonight. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much later, everybody. Catch y'all next one.